Hi guys, I recently found out that I have fibroids. I didn't want to make a lot of videos where I couldn't give you a lot of content. I don't want to drag this on, and I'm not going to put these videos on a scheduled time. As I make them and as the events happen, I will post them the same day. Back in February, when I went for my yearly pap smear. I'm not even going to do an intro. I'm just going to get right into it, because when I first found out that I had fibroids, YouTube was very helpful for me in people explaining what their journeys were like and educating me. So I want to do the same thing. I want to pay it forward. So now back to it. In February, I found out that I had fibroids, and it's not like I didn't know that something was wrong, because I've been dealing with heavy bleeding for years now, and I kind of just thought that it was a part of me getting older. I am 42, but it just started getting worse recently to the point that it was unbearable. I was soaking through a pad and a Super Plus tampon in an hour's time, like for 2 days, 2 to 3 days. When I'm heavy, it's every hour I have to change my tampon, my pad, so that I'm not bleeding into my clothes. Fibroids. I don't know, I guess it's a little shocking for me, because it's not like I had a pre-thought of what fibroids were. I just honestly thought that fibroids cause bleeding, heavy bleeding for like 7 to 10 days and excruciating cramps and all of this. And I didn't have excruciating cramps. I was just very, very uncomfortable. And I do have a high tolerance for pain, so maybe that was it. And I was bleeding for 2 to 3 days. Very heavy. So I was telling myself, well, you know, you're not bleeding 7 days, really heavy. So I guess I was just psyching myself up to deal with it. I really don't know. I don't know. And I guess I just kind of thought, because I'm a healthy person, I work out all the time, and I am good to my body, so my body is going to be good to me. Without really saying it out loud, I think that that is what my thought process was. So, fast forward to my doctor's visit. I explained to her what was going on. They did blood work. They checked for thyroid, checked my thyroid function, and then they scheduled me for a vaginal ultrasound. It was very uncomfortable. It was very, very uncomfortable to have that wand in my vaginal canal and her moving it all over the place. But I saw her writing fibroid on the screen, and I wasn't sure of the sizes. So in my mind, I knew that I had fibroids. So the next week I met with my doctor, and she told me that I had a fibroid that was 5 centimeters, 4 centimeters, and 2 centimeters, and that my uterus was enlarged because of it. So that is where the heavy bleeding and the cramping and everything like that was coming from. So we talked about my options, and after we went through everything, I was left with 2 options: either a hysterectomy or a fibroid embolization. So I opted for the fibroid embolization. All right, because I wanted to avoid the surgery of a hysterectomy, and the recovery time is shorter, and I just really wanted to try and get back to my life as quickly as possible. So when you're going to get a fibroid embolization, they first have to check the lining of your uterus for cancer. So you have to get a biopsy. That was yesterday. It was by far the worst thing that I think that I've ever experienced in my life. It's necessary if you're going to do the fibroid embolization, and I will explain it to you. And I realize that a lot of things that are done to us as women seem to be outdated and barbaric. they put the speculum, is that what it's called? I think that's what it's called. Yeah, the same instrument that they use when you're getting a pap smear. They crank that puppy all the way open, and then they grab onto your cervix with something else, I guess, to keep that in place. And then they take something about this long maybe, and about the size of a straw, and they insert that through your cervix, and they start pushing it in and out to get samples of the inside of your uterus. It is very painful. When I got in the car, I just cried because, I don't know, it was rough. Yesterday was a very rough day for me. I was in a lot of pain, and afterwards I felt like the bottom was just going to fall out of me. I could feel my vaginal walls. That was very painful. It seemed like my vagina was swollen, probably from the freaking thing that she cranked all the way open. And I love my doctor. It's not her fault. But it was just a very, very uncomfortable procedure. So now I am waiting to get the results of that biopsy. That was yesterday. Today, I got an MRI done, and I went to go see Dr. Lipman at the Atlanta Fibroid Center. And I got to take a look at my MRI, and I'm going to make sure that I put these pictures wherever I can so that you can see them. But just looking at them through my phone. So this, can you see that? Don't worry, I'll make sure that I put it up. But this is my hip joints here, okay? And this circle right here, this little steak-shaped thingy is my uterus, all right? Can you see that? So those 3 circular nodules are my fibroids. It's pushing down on my bladder. It's pushing against the lining of my uterus, and that is what is causing the very heavy bleeding. So right now, what I have is something that's about the size of a small orange. And this is what it looks like from the side. So right now, my pelvis is here, right? This is the front, this is the back, this is my bladder, and you see it pushing down on my bladder. Can you see that? And my uterus is right below my navel. So that means, according to Dr. Lipman, that my uterus is the size of a woman who's 4 months pregnant because of the fibroids. So it's been very trying. I have to get the results back for my biopsy. But this has been a very, very trying situation for me. I'm very active. I work out a lot, and I think I just put so much faith in that maybe stopping me from getting any serious ailments. And I feel like either I failed my body or my body failed me, one or the other. But it is emotional for me. It is, I don't know. It's just really, really hard to explain. I have been through a lot. And I don't want to start trying to quantify it, well, saying it could be worse. Yeah, it could be worse, but this is worse for me. This is what worse feels like for me. This is all I know. And just the procedures that I've been through, and the mental gymnastics, I'll call it, emotional. Now I'm waiting for the results of a biopsy. So of course, when you hear biopsy, you think of cancer. So now I'm like, oh my God, what if they find cancer? So it's just, I don't know. So I'm going to take you on my journey the entire time. When I go get the procedure, what the procedure is like, the level of pain, I'll try to relay that as much as possible and what to expect. But from start to finish, I'm going to make sure that I document this just to possibly help someone else. But I can tell y'all right now that I am tired. I'm exhausted. I have a reason now why all of this is going on. That gives me a little bit of, I'm not going to say comfort, but I mean, I get it. I mean, any possible symptom that you can get for fibroids, I've been dealing with it. So at least I know where it comes from, and I'm hoping that there is something better on the other side, even though I don't know what that is. So My regular content that I post on Fridays, a lot of that is pre-recorded, and I will continue to post that on Friday. These videos that have anything to do with fibroids, I'm going to post them as they come. I'm not going to string these along. I'm not going to have you guys waiting weeks to see them while I mix up face mask and all this other kind of stuff. This is coming in real time. The other stuff is still going to come on Friday. So this is the very beginning. I hope that I can help somebody. So just make sure you subscribe so that I can keep you updated. You know, I'm not my normal bubbly self because I am exhausted. This has been a very exhausting 2 days. So here we are. I'm just going to share this as much as I'm comfortable with posting. You know, some stuff is a little too personal, but I'm going to go ahead on and I'm going to share this with you guys. So, all I can say is stay tuned. Right now I'm waiting on a biopsy result, and we'll talk about the procedure when we get there or decide which direction we're going in. So I'm going to try not to even think about cancer. So make sure you subscribe so that, I don't know, hopefully I can, trust me, I would not be sharing this with you guys if I didn't think that it could help at least one person understand that. I am only sharing this because I was helped by 2 channels specifically. I think it was Very Vanessa, and I don't know the lady's name, but I'm going to make sure that I put her in here because she was very helpful, and Very Vanessa was helpful also. I watched her videos. So stay tuned. Thanks for watching, and we will make sure that we catch up and stay on top of this, and I will share as much as I possibly can. Thank you.